Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. And if she is not taken, I'm going to Arizona. I'm going to get to know her. I'm going to Arizona. Will she tell me maybe? Will it be forever? Will it be forever? Or will I tell her never? I'm going to get to know her. Arizona. I'm going to get to know her. I'm going to Arizona. I'm going to get to know her. All right, so the drive-in was a little bit dicey because it has snowed since I was here last. You might be questioning how I discovered this place. And it's a bit of a funny story. What is that? I happened to be in Page, Arizona at Walmart picking up dinner supplies. And I saw a very familiar van parked there, and I recognized the van because it's the van of one of my favorite YouTubers who does a lot of hiking and mountain climbing and adventuring. And like a stalker, I waited for him for about 10 minutes and saw him walking across the parking lot and approached him, hoping he wouldn't think I was a weirdo, which might be the case anyway. And he and his crew invited me to spend New Year's Eve with them out here. And we were talking a lot around the campfire that night, and it reminded me of this YouTube channel, which I started a long time ago. I had actually forgotten about this YouTube channel, totally. But it made me think about reinvigorating this channel and seeing if the people who used to watch my sailing videos and some of my trail running and mountain biking videos, maybe you all are interested in seeing what I'm up to these days, so many years later. All right, so let's see what we're going to have for dinner. All right, I have a nice piece of packaged salmon. Didn't get it fresh, but that's okay. It should be fine. I make absolutely no apologies that I am going to make a package of ramen noodle. All right, and then a Roma tomato and a crown of broccoli, and I have butter and salt and pepper for my salmon. All right, ooh, the water's boiling and ready for the broccoli. Whoosh. All right, so let's check the stove now. I'm just using the small cast iron skillet to cook the salmon, and ooh, it's at 525 525 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the perfect temperature. So I'm gonna pop a piece of this salmon right on the skillet right now. Okay, absolutely wonderful. The salmon's on. I have some butter on it, a little bit of salt and pepper just as seasoning. That's all I have today. The ramen is made, the broccoli's made. I'm gonna cut this tomato up, and the salmon will be ready probably in about 10 minutes or so. I'll keep a check on it. The pan is still, now it's at 450 degrees. Okay, so the weather has turned a little bit frightful. So I've moved into my car. No snow expected, I hope, because I won't be able to drive out of here if it snows. But the wind has picked up some. So I've moved inside. I have my ramen and my broccoli in my handy stainless steel mug, which comes in handy. And I have my salmon, perfectly flaky. Oh, it smells great. Can't wait to tuck into this. Oh, I have to get my tomato too. I forgot my tomato. And I have a glass of milk also in my handy Mickey D's mug. All right. It's going to be dark by the time I finish eating, so I will be bedding down, and I'll see you all in the morning. Well, good morning, everyone. It's time for me to rise and shine and start my day exploring. Let me share with you what I woke up to this morning. Oh, look at this. That's just outside my window. I had a cozy night. Wrapped up in my 0-degree sleeping bag. It didn't get too cold last night, down to the 20s, but I kept warm. Sometimes it's just so surreal to be able to wake up in such a landscape and just look out my window and see what is before me. All night long I was able to peek out my window and watch the stars overhead making their journey across the night sky. And then this morning at about 2:30, maybe 3:30, the moon rose over these cliffs. And now the sun is making its way, lighting everything up, warming everything up. It's still kind of chilly out there. I'm going to close the window back up and get dressed, and then I'm going to climb the sandstone cliff behind me. All right, time to wake up, everyone. Woo! Oh, good morning again. So I'm here just in an area known as Nipple Creek. Funny name, right? But look here behind me, I can see that the sun is beginning to rise, but it'll be a while before it creeps over these cliffs. The sun is just kissing the top of this ridge, and I'm planning on climbing up this ridge to this wonderful little cap section, and then behind me there's like this dissolution canyon. It's a box canyon that is succumbing to dissolution. And that is what has happened to this entire area. Also, there's this wonderful wash that runs right through this section of where I'm camped. A lot of mud and silt and clay, I think. But I had to be careful where I parked because some of the ground looks like it could collapse. So I was sure to park far enough away. There's some cow poop right here if you want to see cow poop. This is open range and there are cattle that just walk through. I didn't see any through the night. Pretty much they don't move throughout the evening, but I was fully expecting to see some cattle this morning. I didn't see any animals. I didn't hear any coyotes last night, but the last time that I was in this area, I definitely heard coyotes, but I didn't hear them last night. I did see some little scurriers. I don't know exactly what they are, if they're field mice or marmots. I don't really know the animals of this area, but you can see one of their burrow holes. All right, next order of business is to fire up the stove and get some coffee. And I have some eggs and juice also for breakfast. All right. Okay, the coffee is hot, the juice is cold, and the eggs are being scrambled. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and I have some sriracha sauce that I'm going to put on the final product. And then, once that's done, it's time to start climbing. Woo! Way up there is where we're going to go. And this is the route we're going to take up this little snowy path. Probably 150 feet, maybe 200 feet of a climb. And then a walk around this canyon. And then up to the top of this sandstone cliff, right to the very top. All right, let's eat. All right, so breakfast is done, and the sun has gradually crept over the top of this cliff. The sandstone rock face behind me, I noticed right at the very top, it looks like there are it looks like there is an ancient stream bed. And I can tell that because when I looked at it with my binoculars, the individual rocks are kind of small. They're probably, I don't know, 5 to 10 centimeters in diameter, and they're rounded. And that gives me an indication that there was probably an ancient stream bed up there. I'm always interested in the stratigraphy of rocks such as these cliffs, and we can tell about the ancient landscape and the environment based on what is going on here. Based on based on a few different things. Number one, the fossils we find, but also the types of rock that we find, and not only that, but the size and the shape of the rocks help us to find an indication. I don't have my climbing gear with me right now, and I'm really not skilled enough to climb up something like this. So there's some alluvium behind me here, and I'm going to scramble up the side of that mountain and then hopefully work my way around this gully system this erosional gully, and I will see what's up on top of that cliff. Okay, I'm gonna climb this right here. It should be a moderate scramble. I don't know, maybe class 3, maybe, but it won't be too difficult. All right, I'll check back in. Okay, so this is what I was speaking about from down at my car. I could see this layer right here, which looks like it is loosely consolidated riverbed rock, I think. The only other option would be that this is some sort of glacial till, but I don't think it's glacial. I think it's from a riverbed. So many years ago, water would run over this, and we can tell that these rocks are rounded. Therefore, they were rounded due to movement of water over, well, water or ice over this layer. But it's a real thin layer at this section, maybe 4 or 5 inches deep here, and then followed up with a completely different stratigraphic layer. In that section, the river rock is interspersed with what appears to be sandstone. So we can tell that the ancient environment, the landscape of this section, changed over time. Okay, so I've made it back. I hiked down that thing. It was much easier coming down than going up. Normally the hike up is easier, but the ice made it a little bit icy dicey going up. but I made it to the top there. That's where I was a few minutes ago. And now I have pasta on the boil, and I'm making some spaghetti sauce, and that will be my dinner for tonight. A weird thing, search and rescue came by. I'm going to spin this around. Search and rescue came by a little while ago just to ask if I was okay, and I told them, yeah, I think so. They were kind of surprised that I was in my car, because I'm in a pretty remote section, and they asked me if I had seen anyone out here, and I said no. And they said that there's a man who has been missing since December 1st. Ew. So I hope he's okay. That's a long time to be missing. They asked me if I had seen his vehicle also, so that means they're not in possession of the vehicle. So that means he still has it. So maybe he's just traveling. I hope so. I hope the best for him. Hope he's okay. It's pretty remote back here. Other than search and rescue, I haven't seen anyone here in, well, the whole time I've been out here. So, all right. Okay, I'm going to go eat pasta, and then it's going to be dark soon, and I'm kind of tired. I'm going to go in my Hondaminium, and I'm going to read a book, and then I'm going to go to bed early tonight.